Hey, ladies, welcome to today's episode. We're going to be chatting about why your offers and programs are not selling right now in 2026 and how to get it fixed ASAP as a Holy Spirit-led coach, course creator, service provider, ministry leader, someone who is selling online. Okay, let's go. Are you a Holy Spirit-led woman called to build a faith-based online business that disrupts the culture, sets people free, and leaves a legacy for the generations? If so, welcome to the Set Apart Online Business Podcast, the podcast for Christian coaches, course creators, entrepreneurs, and ministry leaders who are ready to scale to 6 and 7 figures without compromising their calling, and all while building set-apart families and set-apart businesses. I'm your host, Ashley June, MBA, 7-figure business coach, homeschool mama of 3, and founder of Eden, the Mastermind, and the Selah Collective group coaching program. I help women like you launch, grow, and scale biblically based online businesses that create income, impact, and kingdom legacy in less time. I'm talking 5 to 15 hours a week. You can build a life of freedom for your family through building generational wealth and all while having fun. So yes, ladies, I am often surfing in Costa Rica or sneaking away on ski trips in our beautiful Colorado mountains with my little crew. Here, we talk about business strategy, funnels, sales, launching, scaling, motherhood, culture, and the Holy Spirit edge of entrepreneurship. Because building a set-apart online business means stepping into the business battlefield with boldness, discernment, and the armor of God. Because God has set you apart and you don't have to build your online business like the world. So grab your electrolytes or reheat that same cup of coffee for the 3rd time, and let's step into today's episode with big visions and radical boldness. Let's go, girls. Okay, ladies. Man, oh man, it's kind of been a while. And honestly, it's been kind of glorious. I have not been on the podcast for a good month and a half, give or take. Honestly, it totally was not intended. Last summer, I was like so batched on the podcast that it was amazing. I pretty much was like pre-batched throughout the whole summer. But this summer has been a little bit of a doozy, not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like it's actually been a great summer. I feel like we're kind of getting to the point where we're crawling walls a little bit as a family. We didn't end up really doing any major sports or kind of like pre-scheduled activities outside of things like we went to the amusement park, we went camping, we went up to the mountains with family. And so we had some things that were kind of keeping us busy, but we also had a lot of white space, sort of like Monday through Friday where we just were not doing that much, right? And so I've been working a lot behind the scenes. August is going to be a very, very busy month, which I'm excited to share some announcements with some things that we do have coming up. But today I wanted to talk about why your offers are not selling, okay? Before I get into the nitty gritty of that though, ladies, I have 2 announcements to share, okay? One is that we have a free live 90-minute masterclass tomorrow, August 11th, Tuesday, August 11th, starting at 10 a.m. PST/1 p.m. EST. And we're going to walk through essentially how to build like a set-apart sales system, okay? And so like in this class, you guys, we're going to talk about essentially what is going on, like the why behind why your offers are not selling systematically. And so I'm going to teach you the steps to get to that first or next 100K. This could also be to your first sale, your first 10K, right? I'm going to also talk to you about why like just having a calling by the Lord is not enough. Like you actually need a sales system. And then we're also going to talk about the number one thing that your marketing is missing and why things are not converting. And so today's episode, I'm just kind of giving you like a sneak peek. We're going to go into much deeper, into that in the masterclass tomorrow. No replays. Make sure you come live, and I can't wait to see you there. Okay. So that's the first thing. Go get registered for that. The link is in the show notes to do that. The second things, ladies, is that we have an amazing live 7-day cohort coming up for the Set Apart Launch University. So this is a brand new thing that we're doing. Essentially, it's a 7-day live cohort where we are literally going to coach you through exactly how to come up with an offer that's going to convert, messaging that's going to set you apart, and then a launch/sales plan that will help you get to that first sale, first 10K, first 100K, maybe even next 100K online, right? So the Set Apart Launch University, we're in pre-registration until tomorrow, right? But you'll see lots of information coming out about that. If you're wanting to get in via pre-registration or you're listening to this in the middle of open registration, guys, the link is in the show notes. Go get registered. This is live coaching from me, kind of like in an accelerated format. We're going to have homework, action items, all sorts of fun stuff. I can't wait to share more, but go ahead and get registered for that ASAP. So we also have some special spots open, the PhD admission track for this particular program, and limited spots, right? So like if you want to guarantee that you get one-to-one support from me, this is a great, great, great time to join. So besides that, I want to talk about why maybe your like offers and programs are not selling. You know, over the last 2 years specifically, I feel like everything has just been getting tighter, like squeezing more and more out of like what you're doing. It feels like you have to post more. It feels like you have to create more. It feels like you have to have more conversation. And I always like to say, like, in this day and age, it almost just feels like you're working twice as hard for the same dollar that you were a couple of years ago. And the thing is, like, that is industry wide. Like, you're just seeing people continue to drop businesses like flies. You know, you're continuing to see even just big names completely pivot and shift what they're doing. And I've even seen, you know, some big names completely shift into different industries, right? Like, this is a time that things are being rocked, right? And at the same time, honestly, so much has not changed. And so like we see trends come and go. We see, you know, different things. One of the trends that I've noticed kind of like make an emergence in the recent year was seeing like the live automated webinar come back, right? Those disappeared for several years and then they made a comeback, right? I've also heard that live events are making a huge comeback this fall. People are kind of tired of automation, right? Like they really want real people. We're tired of getting, you know, all the AI stuff fed to us all the time. Like we just want, you know, real and authentic experiences, right? And so we see things ebb and flow. Like there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? But like people are still spending money and we see, you know, all sorts of stuff happening. And the funny thing is I've actually noticed like more pay in full clients lately with my high ticket programs, which is super sweet. Love those pay in fulls, right? But all that to say, like we're just continuing to, you know, kind of move into a season where things are continuing to change, right? And I think that's just kind of marketing in the world and you have to adapt and pivot and all of it. And so the first reason why, ladies, that your offer might not be selling or your programs might not be selling right now, and maybe even if you haven't created a program yet, like this is just stuff to kind of like keep in mind, you know, is that honestly, like maybe your offer just doesn't meet what the 2026 buyer needs or wants, okay? And so I kind of have a story about this, or just like in my own business, right? And so we're actually behind the scenes making some huge changes to the Selah Collective. That's our 12-month group coaching and one-to-one mentoring program, which is essentially designed to help you launch your programs and create like a sales system to actually sell them consistently. And, you know, we're still selling it. We've been bringing in clients consistently and all the things. But I'm just seeing clients struggle with certain things, right? It's like the problems today feel a little bit different than the problems that my clients had a couple years ago, right? And the thing is, so we've been running this program. We're hitting our 5-year university, which is incredible. Over 200 women have come into it. And every 2 to 3 years, I essentially make kind of like a shift to the offer, right? And so we're due, you know, to kind of like make that shift, right? And I think it just goes to show like anything that you create, you know, you're not just going to ride out the same offer or the same bonuses or like the same thing, like the same way that you're going to deliver. Like you have to make updates to the things that you're doing, right? And so after seeing a program that, I mean, really, truly the program is the service that my business provides, right? Like this is what my business is like for the most part very known for, right? Like our premium coaching experience, right? In a group in a one-to-one and or mentoring capacity, right? And, when things slow down, when messaging changes, when the market is like making shifts and everything, like you have to do things that are going to help you adapt and kind of like be ready, right? And so not only are we noticing, like, I think more offers, like I think your offers have to make like more consistent shifts, right? Like kind of like in this season, I think you were able to maybe write them out for a little bit longer. I just hit like the 2-year mark since I've upgraded the Selah Collective, or like, kind of changed up the offer. So it's like I'm due, right, for those changes, which I'm so excited to announce because it's going to feel so different than what we have created. And if you're a current client who's in here, don't worry, like I got you. But one of the other things that we're noticing in the industry right now is that also when it comes to selling, like offers that are more low ticket or mid ticket are actually like helping sell people into the higher ticket programs. People are kind of making buying decisions a little bite at a time instead of like huge upswings and huge downswings, right? And that was actually one of the reasons that we created the Sanctuary. And the Sanctuary, if you guys don't know, it's our monthly membership program where essentially ladies can get clarity, but then they can also get the mind, body, soul care, as well as the business support to essentially carry what God has called you to do. So it's kind of like it's like the maintenance plan, that you need when it comes to running a business, and so we created, like a low to mid ticket offer that is essentially helping care for these women who are trying to go, launch their businesses or, trying to get into the scaling stages and trying to make those sales, right? And we've actually had a lot of people who have, come into our Sanctuary program, upgrade into Selah. And so just super cool to kind of see, like it's kind of just like rearranging your funnel a little bit, right? But that's where kind of like an offer suite and some different offers can really, really help you when it comes to like an offer converting, right? Like it almost like needs like another leg to stand on kind of in this season. And so as I mentioned, I've actually noticed like more painful clients lately, which is pretty cool. But I think you just need to think about like with your offer, like, is this what your person needs in this season? And I know for my client, they're very overwhelmed. They're just over the 50 billion marketing strategies. They don't know who to trust or who to believe because everyone is saying something different. And they're having a hard time being confident in their own discernment because they don't want to make a bad financial decision. They want to make sure that they'll take the action, right? And so what we're really noticing is that they really need implementation over information. And that's truly, truly the trend that I'm seeing, which is one of the reasons that we are not only running the masterclass tomorrow, but we're opening up the Set Apart Launch University, right? Because we want to get these ladies implementing, right? We don't want to just give them information. So if you're ready to implement, guys, like get registered for that ASAP, by the way. Because we're going to really track that and just kind of help you just like really jumpstart from your offer to your messaging to getting like that launch plan created so you can actually start moving, right? So the other reason that your offers might not be selling in 2023 is that like your messaging is just not setting you apart, right? This is 100% one, because AI kind of gives you like the cheat code, but it's like not really a cheat code. It's like, it like doesn't, I think it can be so good in some ways. Like I'm loving some elements of AI, but I'm also hating some elements of it. And I've had to have hard conversations with clients. Like, listen, like this sounds like every Susan out there who wants to launch an online business, right? Like we have to get unique. We have to get you into these things, right? And so if your message is not setting you apart because you're letting AI come up with all of it, or, you're just kind of following maybe like a templated formula, which I'm all about templates and I'm all about formulas, right? Like they can be really good, but like if you're just forgetting to really put like who the Lord created you to be inside of it, like you're going to have a really hard time differentiating. And if you're also consuming all this content and seeing what other people are saying, and then all of a sudden you sound more like them, you're going to find that that's going to be really hard to convert, right? And so AI is definitely stealing many voices, and to be honest, I really think that people need to learn how to actually write without it first. It was funny. I went on a date with my husband last night, and we love to ride our bikes into town. We're about 10 to 15 minute bike ride, leisurely bike ride, to our little town, and it's fun because we'll go out to dinner, we'll stop by the brewery, like we sort of have like little stops and stuff on our bike rides. But if you're riding your bike, you're like, yeah, I'm getting some exercise, I'm getting out there, I'm moving, right? Like I can afford to eat those fajitas because I'm like getting some movement in, right? But it was funny because, and this is something that we've been seeing, but I totally was thinking, we were riding home in the dark, we had our little bike lights on, and an e-bike comes behind us, right? And my husband, he's pretty much like, if you ever see me on an e-bike, put me out of my misery now. Like he's like so against e-bikes, right? And I was totally thinking, I was like, man, AI is like the e-bike of the internet, right? And okay, sure, it can be faster, helpful in some ways. But the thing is, like, you're not actually working that hard. You're not training your body. You're not getting, more athleticism, through hopping on the e-bike. And, sure, like it could be a quick win and it's kind of fun and all of it, but like you're not actually getting the satisfaction of working for something and actually understanding what goes into the process of getting that to work, right? And I was just kind of thinking about that because I was like, there's never going to be anything wrong with manual exercise, like riding a physical classic bike, right? And so when you think about your business and you think about your messaging, do you want to be the e-bike on the e-bike, or do you want to be the person who is on, the real bike, right? And you're like working hard for your fajitas, right? All that to say, ladies, once again, I think that you guys really just have to learn how to pull out your own messaging and how to write things first. I think AI can totally assist with like helping you get there, right? A little bit. But if it becomes a crutch, like it's really doing you a disservice, which so many ladies at the beginning of their businesses or who are trying to scale, they don't know better because they're just jumping into it and they're like, this is what everyone's doing. And, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do because XYZ person told me to do this, right? And like, they're not understanding the why behind it, right? Like they're not shifting their beliefs with what they're doing behind the scenes. Like they're really, truly just kind of repeating steps like a robot, right? So, and people care about you. And, to be honest, some of the trends that we're seeing online is that people want to see you talking. They want to hear more about you. And honestly, whether it's business related or not, like they want to see what your family is doing. They want to see, you playing pickleball on Friday nights. Like, I mean, they want to see these things. That's going to help you like relate to them, right? And they also like, they don't want it to be all business related. So I feel like we're definitely seeing a shift like that because I think there was a time where it had to be like so focused, and I think it still has to be focused, but I think people really, they want to feel connected to you as a person before they make a purchasing decision. And so Gary Vee was saying some similar things in recent history. He was actually saying that like we're going to see an increase in like QVC, like like infomercial type selling. And I was like, oh, so interesting, right? It's like once again, like these trends just like repeat themselves, but live selling and live streaming and you being a real person, like that's really what people want to see, right? And that is where your messaging will set you apart, right? And so that's one of the reasons that you're not selling, or if you're just stuck in that, I don't even know how to make sense of how to get this thing selling. Like that is something that's going on right now. And then lastly, ladies, the most important thing is that like you don't have a sales system, right? Like you don't have a system for sales. And I just recorded like a video on this, but I was basically saying like you have a system for everything else in your life. Maybe your home, a cleaning schedule, a homework schedule for your kids, or a chore chart. Or maybe you have, like a system for your journaling and Bible study every morning, or you have a system for, meal planning and whatnot, right? Like you have a system for all these different things in your life, but you don't have a system for selling your offer, right? That is the hard part, right? Like we truly have to be systematic in everything we do when it comes to selling online. And so my question to you guys is like, what happens if this doesn't change? Posting and praying. I mean, this is like worst case scenario, like you're going to give up on what God has called you to do if you can't crack the code to selling, which if you want to crack the code to selling, it's going to have to you're going to have to create a system that's going to help you do that. Because if you're just trying to manufacture sales by, I'm going to post this and I'm going to get someone to sell or to buy something, that's not going to work, especially if you've never actually walked through that, right? And so ladies, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing the live masterclass tomorrow. So, come into the Set Apart Sales Masterclass. As mentioned, we're going to talk about why your calling is not enough to sell your offers. We're going to talk about what it's going to look like over the next 12 months, the steps that you're going to need to take in order to get to that first sale, first 100K, first 10K, whatever it is. Like, you're going to see the system behind like the actual marketing activities and the things that are going to need to happen for that to come to fruition. And then we're also going to talk about like the number one thing that's missing from your marketing that's keeping you from being sustainable and selling sustainably in your Kingdom Online business. Okay. So it's going to be good. Also, ladies, as mentioned, the Set Apart Launch University tickets are open, right? You can go ahead and get your admission. We have a couple of options, PhD, master's, and freshman. So for some different commitments, we actually have one-to-one support inside of the PhD option. And if you are ready to actually get more so into that implementation versus just like getting information, that's going to be the thing to come to. So go ahead, get registered during pre-registration, or if you happen to listen to this after, we open the cart on Tuesday, like the formal open registration. That's fine too, but we would love to see you in there. So it's like a 7-day accelerated. Let's get this messaging, mapped out. Let's design the offer to be something that's going to set you apart, right? And then actually like, let's create like the actual, sales system behind it, like build out like the framework for that. So you can actually go sell the thing that God has called you to sell online. So go to the link in the show notes, ladies, get registered. This is a great time. Do not miss the masterclass tomorrow. 90 minutes. We'll have some amazing giveaways. Also for anyone who stays live on there, we're going to be giving away our $1 million mindset masterclass, which is amazing because it's really going to teach you about like the mindset that you're going to need, biblically speaking, and then also business wise in order to get to that first $1 million online, which might seem like a pipe dream, ladies, but it's just incredible. Like when you get there, you're like, whoa, I think that this is definitely why, like the mindset behind it. Right. So, let's be the women who take action, the women who implement, and let's do it. So go to the link in the show notes to sign up for those, the masterclass and or the Set Apart Launch University 7-day live cohort starting August 24th. I can't wait to see you in there, ladies. Hey girl, hey, if you were loving this episode, please leave a 5-star rating and a written review on our show. If you happen to screenshot it and email it to us at team@wildandradiant.com, we're going to thank you, celebrate you, and we just want to make sure you're part of this Set Apart movement. Plus, ladies, other ladies will get to see this show. They will get to see the episodes. They will get to listen to all the goodies in here. And when you leave a review, you help us pop up easier for that show. So 1, we would love it if you would do that. 2, please share this episode with your business besties, the ones who are done with hustle culture, tired of watered down marketing, and ready to build Holy Spirit-led online businesses with fire, strategy, and biblical truth. I know you have one out there that you're thinking of right now, right? Share it, hit share, hit send. Okay. And ladies, if you're looking to launch your online business and grow to that first 100K, I want you inside of the Salem Collective. It's my signature group coaching space for Christian women who are ready to activate their calling and build with biblical clarity and proven strategy. If you've already hit 6 figures or well on your way and you're ready to scale in a place of overflow and rest so you can get to your first 500K to 1 million, then you need to apply for Eden the Mastermind, where kingdom leaders rise, multiply, and take spiritual and digital ground together. Lastly, ladies, head to ashleyjunco.com to learn more. I'm praying bold prayers over your business. Let's radically go do the thing. I'll see you in the next episode.